Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am here today to share with you my first impressions of my first cloth and paper insert order. Now, this entire cloth and paper experience was a little bit different than it would be if I had ordered direct from the company. I do have 2 orders already coming direct from the company besides what you're going to see here today, but this particular set of pages was actually sold to me by someone who had gotten them as part of the cloth and paper subscription box, and she didn't think she was going to use them. So when I shared on my Instagram, which I'll link here, that I was looking for some alternatives to my budget planner that you have seen on the channel before, she messaged me and offered to sell her inserts. So I have the website up, and I will try to include detailed information of what you would get when you actually order your own through the website. But these were unused, and I'm excited to share with you today my first thoughts and impressions as we go through the budget and finance inserts from cloth and paper. As I mentioned, these were actually from someone who had received them from cloth and paper herself. And so she has this dashboard already made up, and she had included these items here. What we're going to see after that is several months of the inserts, as far as I know, the way that they come from cloth and paper. Now, what I have put all of this in to get started is a simple planner that I had picked up at Hobby Lobby when I knew that these were coming. And the cloth and paper agendas are, at the time of this video, completely sold out. Check back in July and you may be able to get one if you're interested. But this particular cover is not really the focus today. We want to talk about the inserts. So the budget and finance bundle does come with a basic overview of questions to think about and steps to take as you set up your budget and your finances. I do think that this is a good set of inserts if you're getting started, but I do think there are a few things missing, at least for us, and I'm going to talk about those in a little more detail. This is a good overview though. It has questions like, am I identifying wants versus needs? Is the budget realistic? Is everyone on board with the budget plan? Down here in the tips, things like group similar bills together, which I actually did, so I'll show you that. And things like utilizing cashbacks and rewards programs for expenses already in your budget. So I do think this is a great place to start, and I appreciate that this is included because a lot of budget materials on the market come with the setup for you to put numbers and information in, but they don't really give you anything to start with. So if you aren't sure where to start, that is very helpful. Next, we have a couple of notes pages. And then we get into the section that will repeat for each month. So you start with gratitude, a line a day. I really do like this. So you can put the month and then number down, so on and so forth. So I like the focus of gratitude, especially while you're working on your finances. But I'll tell you in a minute, after we go through a 1 month example, of another thing I think you could use this page for. Once you turn it over, you will see a monthly reflection. So this is going to give you a block for each week. So no matter how your month lays out on the calendar, so for example, July of 2020, the 1st through the 4th would be your week 1, and then the 5th through the 12th, and so on and so forth. So no matter when the 1st falls, you have enough spaces for your weeks. Then you have a place for priorities, a word of the month, which I really liked, your monthly budget. So this would be your total budget and your total starting debt, and then the total amount applied to your debt that month. Things you paid off, how many no spend days, and your ending debt. I do like this dashboard summary overview page, and you could use the week sections however you want. You could use it for what the focus is for the week. You could mark any big expenses or any big income, unique things. This would be a good place to track miscellaneous income or unexpected income or refunds, things like that. That's one way I may be using this. Now we get into what is really the budget page of this system. So it says budget monthly, it has total budget, actual, and difference. One of the most important things about a good budgeting system is you will have a place to plan your budget and track your actual expenses. So this does it in categories or areas, however you want to lay these out. They're not labeled. And this throws me off a little bit just because I tend to think in a monthly budget mindset. However, you can still do a monthly budget here. And actually this page repeats these grids on the back. So you have the option to use 12 different sections. So for example, when I laid out July, I kind of focused this on home. So our mortgage, any home repairs or maintenance, and then this section was more with debt or loans, and this section was basic utilities, so electric, cell phone, internet. This one was more of the regular expenses that are not fixed. So things like groceries, eating out, clothes, and even fuel that aren't a set amount every month, but they pretty much happen every month. Those are in another group for me. Then down here, I had a section just for subscriptions. So Disney Plus, Amazon, and so forth. You could also use this as a place to track one particular category. So for example, if you wanted to really reduce your eating out expenses, you could track every single day if you spend any money in that category, how much, and kind of use this as a cash envelope in a way. Start with your amount at the top and then deduct it down as you spend out of it, and when you get to zero, you're done. The next is a basic expense log. So this would be a place to track just what you spend no matter what it is, and then put your category in place. You could also, again, highlight want versus need. You can even do this for just wants. So leave it blank if it was a need, but if it was a want, fill it out. So you kind of get more awareness of where you're spending if you're trying to cut back on expenses. After that, there's some more notes pages with a portfolio allocation on the back. This is a great place for you to track your investment categories. And after the investment page, you have a watch list. So again, current allocations, number of shares, year-end targets. If you want to track some investment things, you have a great place to do that. The way that these came from the individual I got them from, there weren't as many of these as the number of months that I got for the budgeting. So I just have these grouped here at the back. I don't know how many normally come in a full set, but this would also be something you could just do quarterly. So if you just did it quarterly, then you would only need 4. Okay. Resources and tools, you have a great place to track login information if you want. This page is a great example of why I do not keep my budget and finance information in my main planner. I am thinking about doing a couple of videos to show you examples of how you could do that. So let me know in the comments if you'd like to see, for example, in the Moxie, in the monthly area, or some other example like that. Let me know if you'd like to see that. But things like your account number with your password and so on. I mean, I am married to an IT security guy, so he would tell you not to write down your password, especially with all of the other information like your account number. But if you choose to, that is an option that's there, and there's a few pages for that, which is helpful. You can also give yourself a hint. So just like you can get a hint for your password on a website, maybe instead of putting your actual password written down, maybe you give yourself a hint, something that will remind you what the password is you created, but might not help somebody else understand what to guess. And then a couple more notes pages. And then here's where some of those extra pages that I just happened to get are just in the back. So the recurring payments. Okay, so that is the set of cloth and paper inserts that I received to look through and see if this was a system that would work for me. So what I want to go back to do is show you this gratitude page. So one option to me is to use this as your main budget. So if you like to see your budget all laid out, all your expenses on one page, and you don't quite feel like you want to do it by categories like this sheet has laid out, that's another way you could use this. Another thing you could use this for, going back to gratitude, would be to use this page as a place to refocus if you're trying to control some of the areas you're spending money. So for example, if you have somebody shares something and it looks like a neat thing, you think you want to purchase it, but you also already kind of know in the back of your mind that's not really in the budget, or it's not going to help you reach the goal that you've set. Maybe you want to pay off your car early, or your student loans, or you want to save up for something that's a little more expensive than you can just pay for in a month. So you've got to save over time, and you really want to focus on accomplishing those goals. This would be a place to take that dissatisfaction of kind of wanting something now, but also trying to reach a bigger goal, and refocus yourself with a place of gratitude. So instead of thinking about the thing you can't have, maybe you think about what it will be like for to have the item that you're saving up for, or what it will be like not to have a payment that you're trying to get rid of, so on and so forth. So there's a couple different ways you could use that. I do really like this system overall. I, of course, like the rings. I had moved into an Erin Condren monthly planner in the binder for 2020 so that I would have the flexibility of the rings, but I just found that in that system, the pages just don't turn like this. This is, not even that expensive of a cover. I think with a coupon at Hobby Lobby, this cover was $12. If you do want to see the cover, I'll give you a quick glance. So there's some pockets here where we could keep, say, cards that we don't use that often, or even, cash if we wanted to keep cash on hand in here. And then, of course, there's just a slip-in in the back. It does have gold rings, and it does have a pen loop. And this is just a Agenda 52 is the brand. And of course, just a simple floral cover. It's just vinyl, or, nothing fancy. I mean, if you're looking for something inexpensive and local to you, it may be a good option. That's it for today, guys. I have set mine up for July. I've pulled those pages out because we don't share our numbers, but I have set this up for July. And as I shared, I did categories like our home and so on. And so I'm going to be working through that, and I hope to share by the beginning of August my experience in this finance planning system, along with 2 others, and hopefully pick one for us to use going forward. If you have any questions about what I've shared today, or any specifics you would like me to cover when I compare the different systems, please let me know in the comments below. You can find me most days on Instagram at Tammy Skipper, and I'll talk to you soon.